We talk about stuff. We talk about stuff.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Talk About Stuff, the podcast where we do exactly that. My name is Anthony, and today I am joined with a new guest, my brother, Michael.
Ew.
I hope this isn't super awkward or anything.
It already is.
It's pretty awkward, but we'll get through it. We're going to get through all the news and lots of other crap. So,
Unless I sabotage us.
don't you dare. Okay, so let's just get right into it. A lot of big news that's come out in the past couple of days. A lot of interesting news that's kind of weird. So first off, let's start off with Toby Kebbell has been cast in the new Kong Skull Island movie. Now, I think it's pretty clear on who he's playing. It would really shock me if it wasn't this, but I assume he's playing Kong himself.
He did Koba.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He's
thinking.
amazing as Koba. He sucks at Doctor Doom.
Yeah, he's just about the worst goddamn Doctor Doom.
Also, I feel like it would be weird if Andy Serkis was King Kong again.
Yeah, I know that. Unless unless the rumors are true that this is actually like a sequel to King Kong, that last one that came out 10 years ago.
I hope it's not a sequel.
Yeah, I kind of want it to be a reboot. Just
they got the island good in the 2005. Was it 2005?
Yeah, it was 2005.
The 2005 one. They could just copy the island and forget the rest of the story from it. That'd be good.
I mean, I really think that Kong movie that came out 10 years ago is like a pretty great movie, I would say. And there's a lot of like amazing stuff, especially visually. But it's just too long.
Yeah, that's way too long.
It's freaking like, what is it, 3 hours long?
I'm pretty sure it's 3 hours.
Well, when it comes to rebooting this, I think it should be a reboot just because it would be. I just want to see if it's a sequel, it's not going to be in the 30s.
Yeah, I was just about to say what time period you think it's gonna be.
Yeah,
If it's a reboot, you think it'll stay in like the same time period?
I think if it's a reboot, it'll stay in the 30s. I think if it's a sequel, it'll
present.
be either present day or like maybe in the 60s or
70s.
something in the 70s. And I want it to be in the 30s. I think that's kind of like a staple.
If it takes place in the 70s, will King Kong be a stoner?
Yes. King Kong.
Will the cast of that 70s show appear in
the
movie?
They actually just cast Topher Grace.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty solid cast. None of that's true. I'm sorry. So, next thing I have here in the news is Tom Holland was seen on set of Captain America: Civil War in Germany, and there hasn't been any photos or leaked images or anything, but apparently the news has gotten out that they were filming a scene just earlier today, I believe, where Captain America and Spider-Man were going all fisticuffs against each other. 50 cuffs.
Fisticuffs?
They're brawling it out in Germany right now, which I think is pretty exciting. And one of the things I just realized today, and when I say just realized, I mean somebody wrote a comment somewhere, and I was like, oh, that's true. But Captain America has at least 5 people to fight in this movie. He has to fight Crossbones, he has to fight Spider-Man, Iron Man, Black Panther, and Baron Zemo. So there's going to be non-stop fight scenes in this movie, I assume. And I imagine he's going to fight Iron Man at least twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he'll have teammates.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see all
Well, isn't
those.
the movie supposed to start with him fighting Crossbones?
I believe that's how it's supposed to start. It's not confirmed, but...
So, maybe Iron Man will help him fight Crossbones or something. Probably not.
I heard that the scene with Crossbones in the beginning is going to be Cap, Falcon, Black Widow, and Scarlet Witch.
See, yeah, so there you go.
So, I mean, most of the Avengers.
It's like Captain America fighting
Yeah.
the rest of the superheroes.
Yeah, but from what I understand, that Crossbones scene is going to be in the very beginning of the movie, and that's what's going to kick off the Civil War, which I think that's really cool. Anyway, another piece of news is apparently the Masters of the Universe movie, He-Man, is just found writers. It's the guys that are writing Thor 3. I didn't take the time to look up their names because not only do I not care, but I'm pretty sure nobody listening to this cares. Just they care about what they're writing, and I don't even know
Did
what
they write the first Thor.
I don't know if
The second one.
They might have. should check, but I'm not going to.
Wasn't the guy that directed the first Thor? Wasn't he like a Shakespeare guy or something? He had like some Shakespearean background.
Yeah.
It was like they had like I don't know what it was. It was something weird like that.
I feel like I've heard that before, but I'm not exactly sure. But all I know is Thor and He-Man are pretty similar, so I dig that, I guess. You know what I mean?
I don't care about He-Man.
I mean, dude.
Is he gonna have the blue tiger thing?
Oh
Saber
yeah.
tooth?
Have you seen it? There's a picture.
Is there?
Yeah. It's badass. It's like a fucking magic steed. It's crazy.
I don't know. I don't care about He-Man.
I'll show you the picture later.
On to the news.
Okay. Here's a piece of news. Shawn Ashmore, who is the guy who's played Iceman in the X-Men movies, has recently said that he wants to play Iceman in his own standalone movie or in a Ghost Rider movie. He wants to play Ghost Rider.
I don't care about Ghost Rider. You're never gonna get Nick Cage out of my mind.
I want to see a Ghost Rider reboot because I get that those two Ghost Rider movies are pretty awful. I think the second one is actually better than the first one.
What?
No, here's the thing.
I think because of the crane scene.
No, a little bit, but no. But I think it's because I think in the first movie, I think the first movie makes more sense, but I think there's better stuff in the second movie. I think there's a lot of bad stuff in the second movie. Certainly doesn't make it a good movie, but I think there's better stuff in that movie. Especially, I think the design of Ghost Rider and the motorcycle too are a lot better in the second movie.
I've never seen the second movie. I've only seen seen the scene where he takes over the gravel. It's like a giant big saw crane thing.
It's really huge, and that's a great scene. And then he also pisses like a flamethrower. They had that scene in there. Oh. Yeah, he stands up outside and he pees and he sprays it all back and forth.
I saw that, and then I just imagined the rest of the movie being awful.
Yeah. Oh my god. Should I? I gotta end this.
God damn it.
Here. No, you want to talk?
I'll do the news.
Okay, you do the news.
Talk to Mom. Sean asked, we're talking about Iceman. I don't care about Iceman. I'm a level with you guys. He sucks. And he was pretty cool in Days of Futures Past. And he was cool in X-Men 2 when he made Wolverine's Coke cold. Coke or Pepsi. That was cool. He just blew on the top of the bottle. But Ghost Rider sucks. Also, that's it. I mean, Iceman's terrible. Other than that,
you're back.
I told him how Iceman was cool when he made Wolverine's Coke cold.
Yeah, that's the greatest scene in X-Men.
He
just blew on the bottle. No, it's better than anything in any of those movies. It's my favorite X-Men scene.
The best scene is Pyro. Is that his name? Fireboy?
Yeah, Pyro. You don't know Pyro's name, dude?
Fireboy, Pyro.
Yeah, Fireboy.
Human Torch. They're all the same.
I'm sorry about that, guys.
Move on to the next topic. I talked about how much I don't like Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider's a good character, bad movies. Apparently there's going to be a post-apocalyptic Zorro reboot.
Okay, before we do this, would Marvel be in charge of the Ghost Rider thing, or is it still the what is it? The Knights of Marvel?
Well, I think no, it's Marvel Knights, but I think Marvel owned.
They own it, but they just put it in that.
Yeah, universe. I don't know actually. I don't know because here's the thing: that Ghost Rider movie wasn't made from anybody in Marvel Studios. I don't know if Kevin Feige's name's on it as an executive producer or anything, but if they do Ghost Rider, I guarantee you it's a Netflix series because that's the only place.
Oh, really? You don't think it would be a movie?
No, because if you're gonna do Ghost Rider, you're gonna make it R, and if you're gonna go R, you gotta go Netflix.
Yeah, I guess.
Right? That's why they're putting the Punisher there. I mean,
Daredevil's good.
Daredevil did a great job at that. That was like the big thing.
Yeah, because they could have all the.
They had all the blood. That was
like when the guy kills himself on the pipe.
Yeah,
he just slams his head
right through his eye, and there's blood everywhere. And then
disgusting.
Kingpin slamming the dude's head in the door.
If you haven't watched Daredevil, what are you doing?
You know what?
Finish the podcast and then go watch.
Yeah, finish the podcast and go start.
Don't leave now.
Let's just.
Oh no!
I already said there's going to be a Zorro reboot, but that's all I know about it is that exists. Moving on, let's segue into the Daredevil suit. There was a leaked image that came out of what's the guy that Charlie? Is that his name?
The guy that makes the suit?
No, the guy who plays Daredevil.
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox, yeah. There were some leaked pictures of him.
It just blew my mind that I knew that.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. There are pictures of him testing, I guess, a new Daredevil suit that is incredibly, and when I say incredibly similar to the red suit in the very end of the Daredevil series, I mean, it's incredibly similar. It's almost
similar
the same exact
enough
suit.
to they can just. Do you think they'll be like, oh yeah, you got a new suit, or it's just like that's
I think they're
it's just
gonna,
the same suit, but it looks a little different, like what they do with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
I think what they're doing is there was a bit of I mean, not even a bit. There was a lot of complaints about the last Daredevil suit. My thing with the Daredevil suit, the red suit at the end of that show, is I think it looks good in certain shots. Like in certain shots of that last episode,
yeah,
it looks scary,
and then other shots it
look stupid. So, but I think all they need to do, I think what they did is, I think most of the changes were just on the shaping of the cowl, like the mask. I don't think they did much of anything to his body. If anything,
it was cool to see the actual suit in with a professionally taken, like a picture taken of it in the light. Because you only see it when it's dark out in the show.
Yeah, are you talking about the promotional image that came out? Oh, yeah, no. Here's the thing. There was a promotional image that came out right after the other one leaked. I think that was kind of like this is how we're going to cover our ass a little bit. I mean, it wasn't even some big deal, but it's definitely more red than they let you see in the TV show.
Yeah.
Because it's always, most of the Daredevil TV show, it takes place at night, which is really cool. I mean, that Daredevil show, the way I think about it is it's a cross between Arrow, but I'm only taking the good stuff of Arrow.
Not the love story. And
it's a cross between Arrow, Breaking Bad, and The Sopranos. Because there's a lot of mobster stuff like The Sopranos. There's a lot of shots, or the way they film it looks pretty similar to Breaking Bad. Not as yellow, but it's kind of got that gritty kind of on film look. I don't know if they filmed it on film or they might have. I'm sure they did it digitally. I can't imagine them doing that on film. But that's how I've always viewed it. It's kind of like a cross between those three shows.
Do you think that there will be another really long shot in season 2? Because everybody loved the one in episode 2.
Well, I imagine there's going to be crazy.
Because that was the only one that they did in that season.
Season 2 of Daredevil, there's going to be Punisher, Bullseye, Elektra, Kingpin. He's not dead, so I can't imagine them not.
I don't think he'll be in it that much.
I think
they have all those characters.
I think he's going to be in it in the second half. I imagine first half he's in prison, second half he gets broken out. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
who's going to break him out? The Punisher will break him out. Bullseye.
And you know what I think is going to happen? I think Kingpin is going to hire 2 hitmen from prison. I think one of them is going to be Bullseye, and the other one's going to be the Punisher.
Do you think they're going to end up fighting?
I think they will end up fighting.
That's awesome.
I think that's going to be great. I don't know. There was a thing a while ago where apparently a big rumor that Jason Statham was playing Bullseye, and then
they haven't announced.
They haven't announced he's playing him yet. And then an hour after that happened, Jason Statham probably tweeted out "Shut up, no, I'm not," something like that. But
no, I don't think he would do it.
And then
he looks like the guy. He looks like the perfect.
Yeah, he would be a good Bullseye, but he won't do it. I think he would.
He's too busy with all his millions of money.
Millions of money.
He's got millions of money.
Yes, I don't think he would.
Euros, pesos. He's got all.
Yeah.
Pounds.
I don't think he would do a TV show. He's not even going to be him. He's already said he's not. But another thing about the Daredevil suit though is I don't think he's going to have this red suit for a while, or I think he's going to have it for a little bit, and then eventually they're going to go through the evolution.
Episode 5, and you think he'll get a new suit?
Yeah. So
I think he'll get a new suit when they meet. I don't think the Punisher will be in the show immediately.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be like episode 1.
I'm hoping that there's
kind of deal. Yeah. I think it's going to be like when the Punisher shows up and after he has his first encounter with either the Punisher or the Bullseye, it's going to be like, I need a more armored suit or something.
I'm hoping he wants a less armored suit.
Really? So you could run away from the bullets faster?
Yeah, that's... Well, the way I hope it works is that he's like, his suit's too heavy. I need something lighter again. And then he goes and then he gets a lightweight red suit that's more armored than the black suit that he had, but lighter than the current red suit. And then have the D's on the chest. Because
he has to have the D's somewhere.
that's the thing. Everybody's complaining about the red suit from the last one. Not that bad. It's kind of split. But my thing that I've been saying is, like, guys, it's not the Daredevil suit until it has the D's on it.
You know, he should get, he should get gloves that when he punches you, it leaves an imprint
of D's.
And it says Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like you have one punch on each side of your chest and it says Daredevil going across.
What if it was like Daredevil?
Like Batman branding people, he just gives punches and bruises. There's his logo.
I don't know if he's. I think he's heating it up. I don't think he's just punching into people's chest.
No, I know he's definitely heating it up.
But I think what he should do is he should get like Razor Daredevil, like, so when you get punched, it just cuts Daredevil into your arm, and then it scars open, or it scars and it says Daredevil as a scar. That would be pretty cool.
Do you think he'll write it in gasoline and have it wasn't Jon Favreau that threw the cigarette?
No, that was Ben Urich. That was the character.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't know the actor's name. He's the black guy. You know who I'm talking about.
The guy from he
works at the newspaper.
In the comics it's the Daily Bugle. At this one it was the Bulletin. But because they didn't have the Daily Bugle, and I remember watching that show.
Do you think someone's gonna throw a cigarette in season 2?
Yeah, definitely. That's gonna happen. You're not gonna. Of course, you have to light the D's on fire. But in that last, the second to last episode 12 of Daredevil, Ben gets fired from the Bulletin, and in my mind, I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. The Spider-Man deal went through probably when they were into production of this or whatever,
and then kill him.
Yeah, or spoilers, Jesus. But
if you haven't watched Daredevil by now, you're not watching it. Go watch it. You'll forget this by the time you get to that episode. Yeah, but it was like, I was like, oh, they're making him leave and they're setting him up to go meet J. Jonah Jameson. It was going to be a big thing. That's never going to happen.
And that episode, they killed him. And I was just like, oh, no. That really hurt my feelings. Especially since I know this sounds weird, but I really love the character of Ben Urich. Like, anytime he ever pops up in a comic book or in even the bad Daredevil movie, I like his character. He's been around in comics for probably 50 years. And then Daredevil was like, all right, kill him in episode 12. 50 years, episode 12.
I didn't like his character that much in the TV show.
Dude, I love Ben.
I thought when he was on screen, it was kind of like slowing down a little too much for me.
Also, I mean, you're out of your mind. Ben Urich is...
I haven't watched the show since...
He's one of my favorite parts of Daredevil.
Really?
I love his... Yeah, and especially since... in the comics, since Daredevil and Ben Urich have like a long-lasting relationship, unlike in the TV show because he's dead now. There's a lot of great stuff where he goes to him, and Ben Urich is where he gets all of his sources, and then he could go and kick their asses. And there's even a lot of scenes in the comics where it's like he'll be talking to Ben, and then all of a sudden Peter Parker just shows up, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going, Parker?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing. Jameson's just being a dick as usual." Like it's really cool. They worked in the same place, but that can't happen now, which is fine because it's such a good show that it doesn't really.
Now they just need to kill off Froggy.
Okay. His name is Foggy. They're never gonna kill Foggy.
He sounds like a
frog. Foggy.
He was so annoying in the first half of the season.
That's it. First half, but I just rewatched Daredevil. And in the second season, or in the second half of the season, he really develops into his character. He gets into the role.
Do you think he'll drink mustard in his coffee like Jon Favreau?
I hope so. I mean, it's the best part of Daredevil.
It really is.
X-Men, ice soda when he blows the soda cold. Daredevil, mustard in the coffee.
Mustard in the coffee.
Avengers shawarma, I guess. I don't know. Just little stupid moments like that. Those are the best moments of all those movies. Okay.
No, the best moment was the dancing fight scene in the playground.
It's not as good as the mustard in the coffee.
That was the worst moment.
Yeah. Okay, so in other news, apparently Ike Barinholtz is going to be playing Hugo Strange in Suicide Squad. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true. I think it is, actually. But I can't say for sure. But I'm gonna tell Mike who Ike Barinholtz is because he doesn't know.
I have no idea.
You know who Hugo Strange is, though, right?
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
He's like a bad. Yeah, he's like a Batman villain, bad guy, crazy old beard, glasses.
He has like an Amish beard.
Ike Barinholtz.
He's not Amish.
Yeah, Ike Barinholtz is the guy who plays the best friend in Neighbors.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know.
The guy that looks like shitty Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I remember hearing this today. And
He does a pretty good Mark Wahlberg and Obama.
Yeah. I don't know how this is gonna work. I can't imagine that this is gonna be an accurate character. I think it's gonna be a complete. You know who would be good as Hugo Strange? The guy who played what was his name, Jensen, in the first Iron Man movie.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he would be a good Hugo Strange, right? But they got this friggin' like
Totally
regular
would be.
Mark Wahlberg lookalike guy.
He already looks like him.
He looks like him, right?
This guy
he
looks
just
nothing like him.
This guy looks nothing like
This guy
Hugo
looks
Strange.
like Mark Wahlberg.
Unless they give him the circle glasses and the Amish beard and shave his head, maybe then he'll look like Hugo Strange. But
He's in Suicide Squad?
yeah, Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Which Suicide Squad is sounding just so filled with characters because, from what I understand, like we know like the core Suicide Squad, but then we're also apparently getting like Deathstroke, now Hugo Strange, maybe Jason Todd, and then he's beaten and turned into the new Joker because that friggin' I swear to God that Joker being the Robin, the Jason Todd Robin rumor is.
What do you think his role is going to be in the movie?
I don't even care. I'm sure he's going to be somewhat important.
Really?
Or maybe just an Easter egg for a future Batman movie. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't faze me one way or the other, honestly. I'll be more curious when I see a picture of him. But I forgot what I was saying. Hugo Strange being in the movie something.
I don't care. I don't care about it.
Yeah. What
So
actually? What do you think about that whole Joker being Robin thing?
I don't care either. They're gonna do whatever they want.
Here's the
and
thing:
it's gonna
everybody's
either
like,
be good or
"Oh,
bad.
it's so stupid." Everybody's like, "It's so stupid,"
Nah.
and I kind of think it is pretty stupid.
Nah,
But
I don't care.
here's the thing. Here's what I was thinking. There's that picture that came out.
The whole theory is that the Joker kills Batman. I mean, he
No,
kills Robin.
he kills Robin,
and then Robin turns into the Joker.
well, it's not that he necessarily kills Robin. It's that he beats him to death and transforms him into a new Joker, and then nobody knows what would have happened to the old Joker. And here's the thing.
That won't happen. There's no chance that'll happen.
Here's the thing.
Because
though.
it'll confuse.
You saw the picture.
That movie's gonna be confusing enough to audiences because they're introducing so many characters.
Yeah.
That they won't do that.
The thing though that I was thinking is like, yeah, that's kind of stupid. I don't know why they would do that. But you saw the picture of the bullet hole scars or whatever.
I don't think that's bullet. They don't look like bullet hole scars.
Here's the thing though.
A bullet hole scar looks nothing.
I know
like
it sounds stupid, but imagine it worked like this. Imagine you never saw this picture of the bullet hole scars or whatever, but you saw the Batman v Superman trailer, and you looked at the bullet holes and you were like, wait a minute, if the Joker is actually a Robin, then he should have scars where the bullet holes are. And then you go to the Joker picture and you investigate, and then you notice that there are in fact things on his shoulders where the bullet holes are.
No.
I'd piss my pants. I'd be like, oh my god.
It doesn't matter. Also, it doesn't even look like they're in the same spots in the picture. Like the one on his there's like one on like his upper, I guess it would be his left shoulder, and there's one on the lower right shoulder. The one on the lower right shoulder looks like it's almost on his arm.
My thing with this is I don't want this to be true. I really hope it's not. I don't think it makes much sense to do it this way.
If it was true, I feel like there'd be a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah, but I think it is true.
No.
And also,
that's not true.
You could tell if you really zoom in, you could tell that that's supposed to be like a scar. I know it's not. It doesn't seem big enough, but when you really look at
one of them just looks like a shadow from like his tattoo.
If you really zoom in,
because it's right next to the other tattoos.
I'm just nervous about this. This has made me a little more.
I feel like
nervous
if they'd have to make like the Batman a prequel in order to make that work and not confuse everyone.
Okay, well.
How much do you think they're going to mention the Robin in Batman v Superman?
I think there's
they put the suit enough in the trailer.
I think there's going to be
just one big scene.
Big scene, yeah. So in other DC news, I find this to be very interesting. So somebody was asking Michael Shannon, who plays General Zod in Man of Steel, about his role in Batman v Superman, and he responded with this. I was in my costume, and I couldn't feel my fingers because in the sequel I have flippers instead of hands. So there I was with wax flippers on my fingers, and I couldn't open the door. And Zach was being like, "Where's Shannon? Where the fuck is Shannon?" And I'm with the whole crew just standing around, like I'm knocking on the door with my flippers, like I'm out here. And then they proceeded to ask about his appearance in the trailer, and he said, "Well, I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't really know." And then he said, "I could be a toaster or a Porsche. I would have no way of knowing." So basically, what I got from this is that Michael Shannon's a bit of an asshole, or maybe he's just funny.
You don't fuck with Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon's the creepiest goddamn dude
He's
ever.
like the scariest person ever.
Okay, but I really want to talk about this. What
Has he ever not played a villain?
I don't know. I haven't seen that many Michael Shannon.
He's like a villain in real life.
He's a villain.
Every movie I've seen him in, he's a villain.
It's not like he's
a bad guy in Kangaroo Jack. It's a movie about a kangaroo.
Oh, you asked me earlier if I could think of anybody that's like more of a villain in real life
than Michael Shannon.
I said Willem Dafoe.
That's like the perfect answer. But
I'm also
I feel like William Dafoe's like a total sweetheart.
It's Willem, not William.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
I
hate Will.I.am Dafoe. I have just come up with a new answer just now. Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson's just a dick.
He's ripped, dude. He's strong. He can kick your ass.
Dude, he played the loving dad in Signs.
He wasn't that loving of a dad in Signs.
Dude, he gave his kids like French
mashed
toast
potatoes?
and mashed potatoes at dinner. And then what's his
and
face?
Then swing away.
Chicken teriyaki.
Yeah, and then what did he have? He had like bacon cheeseburger, extra bacon.
Something stupid.
I don't know why we remember what they ate for dinner inside.
Because it was the most ridiculous scene in the movie. It served no purpose.
No,
it
did. It's their last meal.
That
was the purpose. It was supposed to be their last meal, and he wanted them to have whatever they wanted.
Yeah, and then
it ended with crying, and they had tinfoils on
their
heads.
he took everyone's mashed potatoes. I remember.
Yeah.
I hate that movie.
I don't know why this turned into a thing in that sign.
Fuck Mel Gibson.
That's not even his fault. It's M. Night's fault. Can't wait to see Grandparents or whatever it's called.
What?
The Grandparents movie M. Night made.
Oh God. What is it called? The Visit or something?
Oh, yeah, that's what it's called. The Visit.
Can you get in the oven so I can clean it?
Yeah.
Oh my jeez. There's a creepy scene in the trailer.
What is that?
When they like the first night they stay there, and then they open the door, and she's just scratching at the door. It's not creepy. It's just the noise that she's making with her fingernails.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's like one of those
noises.
Yeah, I hate it.
Nails on
I'm sure the movie's gonna suck.
It's gonna be shit.
It's hard to make a good horror movie.
I don't trust him. I mean, I don't. Here's the thing about M. Night is I don't think his good movies were flukes. I just don't think he's made a good one.
Were flukes either.
Yeah, I just don't think he's made a good one in the past 10 years.
When did Signs come out? Signs is a half good movie. Signs is the last good movie he made, and it's not even good if you think about it. Because the aliens are allergic to water.
It's the biggest plot hole of all time.
They came to a planet where water falls from the sky,
and is covered in 80% water, without it falling from the sky. But I don't know how long it's been since Signs, but it's been long enough.
It came out in the 90s, didn't it?
I think it came out early.
Like 2002, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, somewhere around there. I don't think it came out.
No, it didn't come out. I remember going to the theaters and it was still playing there, but we didn't see it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're all.
I remember seeing the poster. The poster was just a bunch of street signs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, I'll look up a poster right now. Yeah. All right, you keep talking. I'll Google.
All right. Well, the next bit of news is there have been 2 trailers that dropped. One of them being a zombie apocalypse trailer. It's called Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. I just made my brother watch this.
It came out in 2002, by the way.
I
was right.
You nailed it. That's great. So it's 13 years old. So it's old. Science is a teenager this year. That's pretty great. Trailer for Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse dropped. I don't know much about this movie. I think the kid that's playing Scott Summers or Cyclops in the new X-Men Apocalypse movie is the lead, and he plays like the lead Scout Ranger or whatever. And
Wait, who is it? It's the guy that's playing
he's playing the new Cyclops.
the young Cyclops.
Yeah, the young one.
The 70s one.
It's 80s now.
It's 80s.
Yeah, 82. There's a
Really?
scene. There's a scene in X-Men Apocalypse where they're in a movie
Star
theater
Wars,
and
yeah,
there's
I know
the
that.
Return
I
of
saw
the
the-
Jedi.
I saw the picture.
Yeah, well then you should have known it was.
Yeah,
in
I
the
just wasn't thinking.
Okay. But
Time
I-
travels.
here's the thing. I saw this trailer and I was like, you know what? This looks like it's gonna at least be somewhat fun.
I think
there's
the
a
movie-
lot of fun moments in the trailer. It
It's
looks
gonna
like
be like I think it's gonna be like Zombieland. How it's gonna have all the cool kills.
that's what I thought.
But-
I thought it looks like a ripoff of Zombieland, but there's Boy Scouts.
I think there's gonna be more comedy in it, but the CGI just looks bad. The cats look terrible. They just
That's
look
not
like
CGI. It's practical.
I know, yeah, but
That's
the,
what,
no,
I like it. I like the
the-
practical zombie.
the
cat.
when I said CGI, I just mean all the effects.
Yeah.
The cats look stupid. The whole eyes thing was dumb because
Alright.
cats' eyes don't light up. Neither do zombies.
Well, in this universe, they do.
No, well, they're wrong. Also, in the trailer, I don't know if you noticed, but when they find the stripper
Yeah.
and she shoots the zombie with the
Mhm.
shotgun, you can tell they're gonna have that moment where they're like, "Oh, we have to hit him in the head
Yeah.
because we're idiots and that's how zombies work, but we don't know."
Yeah. There's the big
And it's-
gaping hole in her
There's
chest.
the
She's
gaping
still
hole in the
standing.
chest, and it's like so you can tell they had to shoot it in the chest once, and then it's like that didn't work, so
Yeah.
they shoot it in the head. They're gonna have one of those moments.
There's a really fun moment in this trailer that I like is when they're in the strip club. He takes a broken bottle, and then he puts it right through his head, so like the nozzle's sticking forward, and then blood pours out of it like it's a full bottle, like
Yeah.
wine lands all over his face. That looks like it's a pretty cool kill. And then
Is the movie like a big budget movie, or is it like an indie movie? It looks like an indie.
it looks like an indie movie, but I think there's a bit of a budget on it
Yeah.
because there's a lot of like rave scenes in it. I think. Yeah, I mean, plus, casting all those extras and putting makeup on them. I'm sure it's not the cheapest thing on earth. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like you can get anybody that wants to play a zombie in a movie. For free.
It's probably like a $10 million budget.
Eh,
But
I mean that's good.
So another trailer that dropped was the latest trailer for The Martian. Now, I saw this trailer and I didn't think the other trailers were anything special, but I thought this one was
This is
a
the
lot
second
better.
one.
This is the second trailer.
I'm
I thought
pretty
it was
sure.
the third,
I think it's only the second one.
but I thought
I thought the first trailer looked really good and super serious,
yeah,
and then this one, they brought a lot of humor.
yeah,
I was like, all right, this is gonna be like, it's either gonna be depressing as shit if they don't make it funny in some parts,
yeah.
or it's just.
Also, I
gonna be
mean, it makes sense because the story is that there's a mission to Mars, accident happens or whatever. Everybody on Mars evacuates. They think Matt Damon is dead.
there's like a big storm or something.
Yeah, there's like
and
some big
they
storm.
can't see him because there's like so much dust.
They leave without him, and they think he's dead. Turns out he's alive. He's surviving on Mars, and he has to like do everything. He has to find a way to keep his food supply lasting, or make food and make oxygen with whatever plants they have there. And he has to find out how to plant like a little farm in the dirt on Mars where nothing is
Yeah, he's
growing.
like, I have to find out how to grow like 3 years of food on a planet where nothing grows.
Yeah.
Or something.
And there are a lot of moments. The thing is, though, is like in his situation, you could tell. Like I think he's, from what I've seen him do in the trailer, it looks like he's trying. He's actually like embodying what I would imagine a real astronaut, like what his personality would be, because he's got to be very calm. You're not allowed to be an astronaut if you're freaking out all the time,
Also,
like Sandra
have,
Bullock.
it makes sense that it's funny because you have to have.
He has to keep himself going.
If
right?
you're on
like,
because
you're on
missions
Mars
to
for 4 years by yourself. You
Yeah.
need to laugh a little bit.
Well, even like on that thing where they're trying to send people to Mars in real life.
Yeah,
now,
one of the things
The
they ask for these
qualifications.
people is you gotta have a sense of humor because you're gonna be with only 8 people. You better enjoy each other.
yeah, you're gonna just be depressed as shit
Yeah.
if you're not.
That whole mission to Mars thing is pretty interesting. But also this trailer I think showed a lot more like conflict. Opposed to the like stuff is actually happening at the end of this trailer. Like things are exploding and you see his farm get wiped out and it's like, oh no, that's all of his oxygen. He's got, I think we saw this in one of the earlier trailers, but he's got like duct tape.
Duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape on his
Yeah.
on his helmet. So no,
You know some shit's going wrong.
So yeah, he must have cracked it.
There can't not be conflict in the middle.
Yeah.
other than him being stuck.
Yeah,
on
I know,
Mars. That's
and
big enough conflict.
And the whole thing, and the cast for this movie looks amazing, and it's also very interesting.
This movie has like the best cast since like the Grand Budapest Hotel.
I would say Lego Movie. You want to see a great cast? Look at the Lego Movie.
Yeah, that's animated though.
Yeah, but there's a lot of interesting casting decisions. Especially my number one most interesting in this. I guess if I have a list for number one most interesting is Kristen Wiig.
Really?
Because
it's
I'm
not
like
Jeff Daniels as the president.
no, because Jeff Daniels has done roles. He's in Looper. He's like
Looper.
Yeah, I know. Looper's
Everybody
pretty
says
good.
it's amazing, but
Here's the thing about
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Bruce Willis, and they fight in space.
Yeah.
Time.
For the longest time, I was like, I don't see that Joseph Gordon-Levitt grows up to be Bruce Willis. I don't see how they're gonna make that work. I watched the movie. They give him like a crazy prosthetic nose that looks just like Bruce Willis's. And he looks like Bruce Willis. It's crazy.
But I can't see Joseph Gordon-Levitt growing up and turning into a dick like Bruce Willis.
The funny thing about Looper is it's one of the latest, most recent performances of Bruce Willis, where he actually gives a shit.
Really?
Yeah,
It's not Die Hard 5.
He's actually acting in it. But
it's not Red 2.
Yeah, I don't think Looper's like an amazing movie, but it's pretty solid. But Jeff Daniels as president, it makes sense, and there's like a whole thing I believe in this movie where it's like he doesn't even want to let anybody know he's on Mars. Like they're trying to keep it all covered up. And people are asking him like, "Is that man still alive?"
Yeah,
and then like
he's like, "We don't know."
Yeah.
But he's like, he's nervous. He's like, I want to say yes.
Yeah.
But we can't know because it takes like it has to take time.
I feel
to
like
send
he's
a message
playing.
from Mars.
I feel like he's actually going to be playing a little bit of a bad guy.
Nah.
Also, you know what? Another of the interesting casting decisions is Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
he's either a comedy or a horror movie.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
horror movies are good.
I'm not saying that Donald Glover and Kristen Wiig being in this movie are making me go like, oh, it's just going to be a comedy.
Yeah,
but
they don't have any comedy, like they don't have any jokes in the trailer.
Yeah, but
they look like completely serious actors.
Here's the way I think of it is, I buy that they're in it. I know that they're both good actors, and good movies, like good dramatic movies, are the ones that know how to use comedic relief. Like Gone Girl. One of the best parts of Gone Girl
is the jokes in the middle of it.
It's just the little quick jabs at each other that are funny as shit. Like especially at the end when she comes to the house covered in blood, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's alive! She's alive!" And then she runs up to Ben Affleck and they hug each other, and Ben Affleck just whispers in her ear, "You fucking bitch!" like, or
what he does the thing on his
and another
on TV.
Another Ben Affleck movie, one that he directed, Argo, totally serious dark movie, but he
knows how to put comedy in it.
Yeah, Argo.
You have to put comedy in it, or else it's just gonna be you're depressed.
You're
like Foxcatcher.
Yeah,
Foxcatcher is amazing, but you're not leaving that movie going.
Great example of this also,
fun.
Ex Machina, that came out earlier this year. Incredibly tense movie. That movie is nothing but tension that just builds and builds. But then there are really great moments of comedy where
like that dance scene.
Yeah, that dance scene when Oscar Isaac was like, "Yeah, I really like that part when he called me a god." But so I'm excited for the Martian. I wasn't excited until this trailer because I was just like, okay, it looks interesting. I just want to see more.
The book is supposed to be really good.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
there's a movie.
So Michael, summer's over, isn't it? And
all you little kiddies are going back to school.
Yeah, I've been reflecting on this past summer vacation and all the movies that have come out.
Not that many good ones.
And that's what I was thinking is, I don't know if people really look back at 2014 and realize how great of a year that was for film.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, 2014 is going to be one of those years that goes down as like one of the highlight years of the film industry. Kind of like to me, 1994. If you go back to 1994 and look at all the movies that came out,
like Pulp Fiction,
Pulp Fiction,
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption or Fight Club, I believe, came out in 19... No, actually, no, that was 1999. But... Forrest Gump. Yeah, but that's one of those, like, amazing years of movies. And 2014, 20 years later...
Exactly 20 years later.
Yeah, is another great year. But So I was thinking we should go through.
2024 is gonna be the next one.
I was thinking we should go through 2015 and 2014. Just pick out what we've liked so far, and then maybe complain about.
There hasn't been a good comedy in 2015.
Yeah, there hasn't been. There's been Vacation. Vacation's supposed to be
Vacations,
sucked.
yeah.
Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Heard that sucked.
Supposed to be Top
Was
Gun
Horrible
Machine
Bosses 2?
That was last year.
That was last year.
That movie's alright. The first one's better.
It's not fine. The first one isn't even that great.
No, the first one's good.
It's good.
Charlie Day's
No, I
good.
get it. It's a good movie. Like, it's certainly a serviceable comedy, but it's not like it's not anything completely special. The second one, I think, is pretty fine. It's got some funny moments in it. Oh, you know what? Ted 2 came out this year.
I didn't hear anything about it.
I didn't either.
I think it's just a movie that came and went.
There's one scene in it where they recreate the scene from the first Jurassic Park movie. They recreate the whole scene where they're in the thing and the girl, I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, all you Jurassic Park fans that I know are on this channel. When she's holding the leaf and she's like, "Look at this extinct leaf. It hasn't been here for whatever, and it's so special."
Fuck that leaf.
And then
there's fucking dinosaurs. Fuck the leaves.
the Grant, I believe, turns her head, and then you see all the dinosaurs walking. They recreated that scene in Ted 2 where they're in a Jeep, and Mark Wahlberg is holding this gigantic marijuana leaf. And he's like, this is
awesome.
This is like, this is one of like the purest strains of marijuana. It's this, and this put together. This is supposed to give you the ultimate high. Only one hit will get you totally baked. And then they turn his head, and then
There's a
it's an
dinosaur?
entire marijuana field.
Oh.
And then the Jurassic Park score was playing, and it's like, da-na-na-na-na-na.
Was there air horns playing too?
Still probably not a great movie, but no.
No. I didn't like the first Ted that much.
Yeah, I don't like it either. A lot of people really love that movie. I don't care about it at all.
I don't know.
But that's a pretty funny scene, I guess. But I think we should go through. You want to do 2015 first, and then
2015 first.
All right.
Let's start with The Gift because that movie is fantastic.
Gifts just came out.
It's Joel Edgerton.
It's his writing and directing debut, I think. Is this the first thing he's written, or just the first thing he's directed?
Oh, look it's the first major movie he's directed. I don't know if it's the first thing he's written.
But
if you haven't seen it, it's still in theaters. It just came out last week.
Came out two weeks ago.
And it's amazing.
It's such a great thriller. I remember I saw the trailer for this, and the first thing I noticed is Jason Bateman isn't playing himself. He's playing a totally different character than the just really cocky guy who's like, all right.
So he's written a lot of shorts.
Yeah. But is this his first feature-length film?
I don't know. There's
let's just
I don't
say
know what felony is. It says screenplay.
Oh, I guess he wrote a screenplay for
I
that.
have no idea. It came out to 2013. I have no idea if it's any good. But The Gift is really good.
Joel Edgerton's directing debut. He plays the antagonist.
Yeah.
Whose name is Gordo.
Gordo the Weirdo.
Gordo the Weirdo, and it's such an intense. I'm not going to spoil any of this movie because it's still out. They're marketing it as a horror movie, but it's a mystery thriller. Yeah,
But there's two
scares.
really good jump scares in it.
Scared the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
And me and Michael have recently been getting more into horror movies. Stoops as well, and
he's the one that got us into it. Really.
Yeah, I'm sorry Stoops isn't in this podcast. By the way, I know everybody's. Michael's fine. If anything, he's probably a better podcast.
Yes,
but
I better be.
But we've been watching a lot of horror movies, and I haven't seen a horror movie in a movie theater before. And although this one isn't a horror movie,
no, it's still
it's got those two jump scares in it. That's just.
And I wanted to see Sinister 2 because the trailer looked terrifying. There's that jump scare in the trailer that everybody freaked out in the same theater that we were in to see The Gift.
I've heard it's good. I know it's got a bad score, but I've heard it's
good. It has a 5%.
Yeah, I know it's bad.
It can't be good.
I guess not.
I like the whole premise of it. I think there's a video camera.
I don't even know
you can only see the ghost through the camera or something weird.
Yeah.
There's something with the camera.
There was actually a great interview on Collider where they were talking to the director of Sinister, and they asked him if he was ever genuinely, freaked out when he was filming the movie, and he was like, "Yeah, I got bit by a brown recluse. That was probably the worst moment."
It's amazing.
Which, if you guys don't know what a brown recluse spider is, it's just a horrible.
It's like one of the most poisonous spiders.
Yeah, and
ever.
there are people that they get bit by these things and like lose limbs. It's so bad.
One of our uncle's friends actually got bit by one on the leg, and it was
Yeah,
like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah,
and he still has
ago.
to walk with a cane.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't
He made a shit ton of money
and
from
they
it. though.
and the thing they said that he said that he like doesn't ever sit in the director's chair. He's always like on set walking around, making sure everything is like what he wants it to be. And then like the one time he sat in the director's chair,
It was
the spider also happened to sit in the chair with him.
It was like probably like underneath.
They made
the
a
chair
joke
or
that the
something.
spider was actually directing the movie the whole time in the chair, but and then it bit his leg. So that's a funny, sinister story.
What do you think the budget on Hollywood movies for director's chairs is? How many director's chairs do you think have been bought?
Probably, I'm gonna say each movie $100,000 for chairs.
It's got to be at least like
$500.
No, I'm gonna say like $5,000
just for the chairs.
because there's more than one.
There's like 10 chairs, Mike. They have chairs for the director, chairs for the
Those
cast.
chairs don't look very sturdy.
They don't.
They broke them in Jackass.
Yeah.
All right, next
Yeah.
movie.
Go see The Gift if you haven't. It's a really great movie.
Fantastic.
We would talk about it more, but it's been out. It's only been out for 2 weeks. Next one, let's just go. I think the best movie. You know what? I still think it's the best movie of the year. There's
Mad
some
Max.
competition. Yeah, Mad Max.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Talk about amazing special effects. I don't think I've seen like special
And
effects.
practical.
Well, special effects don't mean CGI. Special effects
Whatever.
mean
Yeah.
special effects. So you're
Yeah.
wrong.
Well, shut up. It's amazing. The practical effects are amazing.
Yeah, but
They actually had to build. What do you think they did with all the cars?
I don't know. But here's the thing
Do
about
you think George Miller has them?
George Miller has said, people are, raving about the practical effects in this movie, but these practical effects aren't possible without CGI. They're just things they had.
That move, the rocket jump CGI, why CGI is good.
Yeah.
They talk about it.
Yeah, but there are things in Mad Max that like all those guys that are flying through the air, they're all wearing they're wearing vests and cables so they don't
of
die.
course.
And then also, George Miller said that one of the greatest things CGI has done is when he filmed the original Mad Max movies, there'd be times where they'd have to reshoot scenes. And when they have to reshoot scenes, they have to drive in reverse or whatever, go backwards and then redo the scenes. And back in the day, you couldn't use CGI to get rid of the tire tracks in the sand. And so I guess you were able to tell when they reshot something.
Yeah.
Or when they did
When
another take.
it wasn't first take
Yeah.
stuff.
But in this
Which
movie,
I imagine was a lot.
yeah, in this movie they were able to go back and clean up those tire tracks so they weren't in the movie. And then obviously everybody's talking about the practical effects. Like there's not a single drop of CGI in this movie.
No,
There's
there
a
is.
gigantic, but people do talk about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, there's no CGI, and it's like,
Also, one of the main characters is missing an arm.
yeah,
The entire movie.
that's a great effect.
Yeah.
Not once do you believe that that's CGI.
I thought she actually cut off her arm.
Yeah, method actors these days, man.
Christian Bale.
Christian
would
Bale.
totally do it.
Yeah.
He did it in The Prestige. He cut off his finger.
Christian Bale, if you're playing a man with no legs, I wish you the best of luck.
Lieutenant
Let's
Dan.
in the Forrest Gump reboot, when Christian Bale plays Lieutenant Dan, he's cutting off his legs.
Dude, if I
'Cause
ever
he's
had
a
to
method
cast
actor.
a big budget movie and someone had to lose their legs, I'd cast Christian Bale.
Because he'd do it.
He wouldn't.
He's like, you don't know, man. He's a little bit crazy, which is good. But
He's awesome.
yeah. So Mad Max, it's almost a flawless movie.
If you haven't seen that, go see it.
It's the blockbuster.
It's out now. It's
it
out
might
on,
be the
it's out on
blockbuster-
DVD.
Yeah, it might be the best blockbuster of
Ever.
for maybe like the past 5 years. I don't know.
What
Or-
could beat it?
Avengers.
No.
Here's the thing. I know we've seen Avengers 1,000 times, but when you see that movie for the first time, Avengers changed the way movies were made. They changed the way universes exist. It doesn't.
I know. DC's trying to play catch up.
So shut up. It doesn't matter. All right. Next off, another pretty recent movie. Ant-Man.
Michael Pena is amazing.
He's the best part of that movie.
He's so elegant.
Yeah.
And yet such
The best part of Ant-Man, which I mean, there's a million things to love about Ant-Man. I think it's one of the much better Marvel movies. I think I pegged it at my fourth Marvel movie, like
Really?
my fourth favorite.
Are you including Avengers?
No, I'm not including
Like,
Avengers
you're talking about like
because
solo
I can't
movies?
even put Avengers on a list because it's as far as solo movies go. I think it's
Solo and like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Cap
Counts
2.
as solo.
No, you know what? No, fourth including Avengers. Number one, I still think, as far as special Avengers, no. Okay.
The best movie, the
two,
most flawless movie is Captain America 2.
Cap 2, Avengers, Guardians, and then Ant-Man.
Really?
Yeah.
If I'm not counting Avengers, it's probably top 3 or 2.
Yeah, but the reason
Guardians and Ant-Man, I'm switching up every once in a while.
Guardians and Avengers, I kind of switch them up, but the way I think of it is like they're almost kind of the same movie, even though one's in space.
It's like,
but Avengers has a better villain.
Avengers has a better villain, but Guardians has better.
Not that I don't like Ronan. I like
Ronan. Guardians has better comedy.
Yeah,
much better comedy.
And you know what's funny about Guardians is I think that movie is legitimately funny, but the more I see it, I think Chris Pratt is less funny because I realize that he's really just a vehicle for references of
the 70s,
the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
Because everything he says is like Kevin Bacon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but
and then you get to like Rocket and Groot and Drax, and they're all legitimately funny. Like
the best thing in that movie is Groot's smile after he kills
after
people.
He shoves his arm through like 15 people and then kills them all, and then turns around and gives a huge smile.
He's the
funniest thing in the movie. But anyway, yeah, Ant-Man came out a little while ago. It's pretty.
You know what I really like about Ant-Man?
What?
The tank.
Yeah.
Not only do I like the tank, I like how when they make it big, the keychain.
The keychain, yeah, it's still big.
Like, they didn't have to do that, but I'm so glad they did that.
It's like, of course, Hank Pym is so prepared for anything. He has a tank in his pocket.
I wonder what else he has.
Yeah, I'm sure he has. You know what? I heard if you pay attention around his house, there's like a bunch of little tiny things. And
yeah, I noticed that there was some small things. I didn't think there was any.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
I don't think there was like a small.
I'm gonna have to go and check it out, but like I'm pretty sure he's probably got a tiny 737 in there.
There'll be a video about it eventually.
But we were saying the best part of Ant-Man, I think, is when Luis, Michael Pena's character, is telling stories about how he gets information, and the way he does it is he tells this whole thing about he said, she said, and then they videotape them saying it, and like that none of them are saying what he's saying. But it's videotaped where like they're mouthing his exact words.
It's his audio coming out.
Yeah.
And it's just their video.
Yeah, but like that's not how the conversations went down. That's really funny.
They had to take a bunch of takes.
The best part of that whole thing is that he has such an elegant life because he's just like
the first one he's at a wine tasting.
Yeah, he's at a wine tasting event or whatever they call those, and he's like, normally I'm not like a fan of red wines, but luckily there was this a rosé that saved the day.
This wonderful rosé.
Yeah, wonderful rosé. And then in the next one, he's at an art gallery, and he's talking about how he doesn't like abstract art, but there was this one painting by this one artist that he really likes that stole the show.
Also, the best part about those scenes is that he's dressed like a douchebag the entire time.
Yeah.
And everyone around him is like he's super fancy at like the wine tasting, the art gallery, and he's wearing like
crazy super fine.
He's wearing like cargo shorts or like jeans.
It's really funny, and just like the. I hope they use that device in the sequel because I'm pretty sure they better exactly. But I mean, it's one of the most clever things.
They better pay him whatever he wants for that sequel.
Yeah, it's one of the most clever things. They better not pull an Iron Man 2 and then recast him with Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle could be Luis.
Who would they recast?
Who would they recast?
Like Carlos Mencia?
They get Don Cheadle.
They get Don Cheadle.
He'd play two people.
Yeah.
He'd be an Avenger.
CinemaSins, Scott Jeremy from CinemaSins said in Cap 2, it's like it's only a matter of time before they replace Anthony Mackie with Don Cheadle. And then he'll be the Falcon. No. So he's going to be Luis the Falcon and War Machine.
Do you think if they didn't use Don Cheadle, the movies would still be the same? Don Cheadle's so much better than the last. What was the last guy's name?
I don't mind either of them. I don't even care. To be honest,
Don Cheadle's a better actor.
Terrence Howard? Terrence Howard's...
I don't like Terrence Howard's voice.
Yeah.
It's like scratchy and whiny.
There's one part in that first Iron Man where like Terrence Howard rubbed me the wrong way. I don't think it was his fault, but it was a little bit of his delivery and then the line itself when Tony Stark goes up to him and he's telling about this new thing and he wants him to be in it and it's just him it's just the two of them and nobody else knows about it. And then Terrence Howard's like, you know what though? You need time to get your mind right. And then walks away.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I hated that.
Yeah, right. It's like, come on, dude. He's your best friend. He's a genius. Just do what he wants.
You seem like the biggest dick.
And then, funniest part of that movie, that first Iron Man, it's like, next time, baby. And then it's like, that, not really.
Nope. You thought.
But All right.
Let's
Ant-Man's great.
let's blast
Yeah,
the
we
waves.
got
Let's
it.
really
I think we're
take
taking. Yeah.
Kingsman came out of nowhere.
One of the really great comic book adaptations in a long time. What can you not love about Colin Farrell being a crazy throwback spy who's doing nothing but kicking ass with umbrellas, and Taron Egerton, he plays Eggsy. He says he wants to be the new Wolverine, by the way.
No.
But yeah, I don't see it either.
There's no new Wolverine. They can't do.
You know
they'd
what?
have to reboot X-Men.
I've heard people are saying that he also might be the new Han Solo, but that makes more sense than Wolverine. But
yeah,
you know,
I
guess I'll see it when his hair's longer. But
you know, they're gonna pick the right person for Han Solo. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like all the movies we've talked about so far, it's like we mentioned the movie for like a second, and then we just get on a huge tangent. But it doesn't matter.
They knew what they were getting into.
Yeah. But Kingsman is just such a cool, really well shot, really funny, really like hyper violent action.
Yeah.
It's just a great time in the movie. It's like that church scene
is amazing.
When it's like a Westboro Baptist church type of thing.
It's like the fight scene from Daredevil, but with better.
Yeah, it's like a one shot fight scene.
How many takes do you think that's? It's one shot.
It is?
It is
I don't know
shot.
how many takes.
The only time it's not one shot is when it cuts back to Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So it's more than one shot, but it's
and then
one shot.
and then the Eggsy at the computer.
How many takes do you think that took?
I imagine a lot, but
that must have took a long time to reset that church.
Yeah, but that whole scene is just so it's Colin Farrell kills 70 people. That's the scene,
pretty much.
And it's done so well, and it's so intense. And I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it.
What's crazy is how many people had guns in that church.
Yeah, right?
There's like 5 guns.
Well, it's a very violent church, but
yeah,
it's just one of the greatest fight scenes I've seen in a long time. What else could I say about Kingsman? All the characters were really cool and interesting. Samuel L. Jackson was a really cool bad guy, and he gave himself like this crazy list.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. And he's like, I can't understand you people sometimes. You all talk so funny. But it's such a fun villain. And then the sidekick.
He could be just as scary as Michael Shannon.
Yeah, he could.
Throwback to the last conversation. It
was like 7 conversations ago. But I can't remember the girl's name. That's like Boulette's. Her last name's like Boulette.
It don't matter. Talking about
cool.
Sword Girl?
Yeah, the girl with the
Sword
like
feet?
swords for feet. That was awesome. Like just a really cool, well-made movie. And then Mark Hamill was in it. That was great.
People must hate inviting her over for dinner. She's fucking up everybody's floors.
Yeah, she's just
if you have
ruining
hardwood
everybody's
floors.
floors.
You're screwed.
Yeah, just ruining it for everybody
Also,
else.
I think everybody knew about that movie when it was coming out.
Yeah.
But I think everybody thought it was going to suck. The trailers look terrible.
I saw the trailers. The first trailer, I was like, that's stupid. It's just like a hipster kid being a spy. It's going to be bad.
I think at one point, before it came out, I was like, that could be really good. And then right after, I was like, nah.
You know what got me? Was there was like a 30-second ad for like on the Super Bowl. And there was nothing but ass kicking. And then in big bold words, it said more badass than Bond. And I was sold.
I remember that.
I was sold. I was like, I got this now. I'm on board. But anyway, let's move on. Another good movie that came out this year. Really, probably the only good animated movie. I haven't seen any others, but I heard many of those.
There's been that, and there's been.
And then Home.
We're talking about Inside Out.
Home.
Yeah, Home, which stayed in theaters for 6 months, but nobody cared about.
Well, yeah, but everybody went to see it because there was nothing else. But,
yeah, I mean, it's the only animated movie out. You gotta take the kids to
but Inside Out. Here's the thing about Inside Out. That movie had so much hype when it first came out. Yeah, that's why I said that. I heard it wasn't very good. It had just I think too much hype when it came out. Everybody was like, "It's the best Pixar movie ever made."
Because it's been like
it's been forever since a great Pixar.
It's been a few years since
Toy Story 3 was the last one in 2011.
Yeah, there hasn't been really anything in between this and that.
Yeah, so this movie came out. It broke a record for the highest grossing
Pixar movie
opening weekend. That was for an original film. That wasn't adapted.
Really?
It wasn't a sequel. I mean,
not even animated.
Not even just
everything.
An original film. $91 million, which
crazy.
Is such an achievement. But this movie.
It's also crazy to show how much stuff is in original.
Yeah, I really think Inside Out's a great movie. I think it's fantastic.
I want to see it again.
It's very emotional. It has a great message about how
Bing bong, bing bong.
Yeah, bing bong, just rip your heart out. But it has such a great message that in order to truly appreciate your happiness, you also have to embrace your sadness and live through those moments and know that it will be better in the future. And it's just like such a deep, just plot behind the whole movie that I think really made it special. I don't think it's the greatest Pixar movie ever made.
I think it's the best casted.
Yeah, that's great casting.
Bill Hader as Fear is great.
Lewis Black as
That's
Anger
the perfect
is
cast.
the greatest casting.
He's just such an angry person.
Yeah, his stand-up is hysterical. If
He
you
didn't even have to do it. He just showed up and read.
Yeah, he just showed up. They didn't
for first take.
All of his lines are improv. And then Amy Poehler as Joy, I think, works really well. I don't know who did the voice of Bing Bong, but goddamn, Bing Bong
He does.
ripped my heart out.
Bing Bong does. The guy that does the voice of him also does the voice of like every other Pixar character.
There's a lot of people that
I think he does the voice.
movies.
He might be the guy that does the voice of the T-Rex in
Yeah.
Toy Story, or the pig or something.
Mm-hmm. But anyway,
Next, Mission Impossible.
Michael-
I haven't seen it.
Michael has not seen it. I will tell you that this movie is fucking fantastic. I've heard people say like they didn't enjoy it for some reason, and I'm just like, did you even watch it?
I watched Ghost Protocol, the fourth one,
Yeah.
in preparation for this one because I was gonna go see it opening night, and then something happened. I don't remember what happened.
I'm gonna
We
tell
didn't
you,
go. I watched it. I was like, this movie is fantastic. And then I was like, everybody says that the fifth one's better.
It's better. It's really better.
The fourth one's like perfect.
The fifth one has such cool, funny scenes. It's got a great villain. The villain, I'm not gonna spoil much about it, but he's so cool because
I don't even know who the actor is.
Yeah, but the way I'm gonna just explain to you a little about the villain. He's very powerful, and he is just a rage monster with total control over his rage.
That's awesome.
So there's a scene. Well, I'm not going to spoil what happens. One character goes up to him. Something didn't work out that he wanted, and he does this. He goes to slap her, and then stops his hand and just touches her face.
Get your hand away.
Yeah, just.
Anthony's trying to touch.
Yeah, I'm trying to do
right
the
now.
Same thing. Just. It's so aggressive, but he tames it really well, and he's just scary as shit.
Like Kingpin.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Kingpin doesn't. He just kills people.
He just kills people like a brutal badass. But it's really great villain. Tom Cruise is fantastic. Simon Pegg is so goddamn funny.
Yeah, he's my favorite part. He's probably my favorite comedic actor.
And here's the thing about. I remember when I got into the theater and the movie started, I was nervous for one thing. This is it's a little bit of a spoiler, but it doesn't really matter. That plane scene, the one where he's hanging out, that's the first scene of the movie.
Oh, man.
And here's the thing. I thought to myself, I'm a little nervous that the rest of the movie is not going to live up to it, and it does 10 times over.
That plane scene took 8 takes.
Yeah,
That's
but I'm telling you, that movie holds its ground after that scene.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I was like, I hope they didn't just blow their load in the first scene, and they don't. That movie is just so friggin'...
Yeah,
it's paced so well. It's intense. There's like so much tension. There's a lot of scenes where it's just like, Jesus, they're gonna die.
Yeah, I remember when I watched Ghost Protocol. It was the first time I've watched it since it came out in theaters.
Yeah.
It was the second time I've ever seen the movie, and I remember the whole climbing on the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it being, in my mind, it was the end of the movie when I saw it in theaters. And I watched it and I was like, that happens in like the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, is the rest of the movie gonna be all downhill from here? And it fucking wasn't.
We'll make sure that we see that like this weekend or something.
Yeah, I'll see that straight on Compton.
We haven't seen that one either, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. So the next movie we have is Avengers: Age of Ultron, the first Marvel movie that came out. And I gotta say, I think that
a lot of people give it shit, but
a lot of
I like
people-
it more than the first one.
yeah,
I don't think I'm like one of the very few people that do.
no, there's some people that do.
I think there's more.
There's definitely
more
a
going
lot
on.
more action.
There's more action. There's more going on.
I said this in one of the other podcasts about how people are complaining about this movie, and I'm like, I think that the people that complain about movies that aren't like real piles of shit, like if you're complaining about the Fantastic Four, it's fine, but there are people that'll swear to you that Age of Ultron's the worst movie ever made,
Fuck.
and it's like,
No,
there's a lot of great
good.
shit. And then I was saying like in this movie, we get to see a live action interpretation of the Vision, Like
which is perfect.
When was that ever gonna happen?
You know what he looks like on screen? He looks like he's made out of that like Nerf foam.
Yeah, but he's made out of vibranium, the hardest substance on Earth.
It's like soft touch plastic.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought the movie was done really well. I think my biggest problem with it is
I'm not complaining about the Vision, by the way. He looks
he looks amazing. I remember when that the first image of the Vision came out, I was just like, I have never been more excited for my life. And even when they announced this movie and they announced Age of Ultron, and that was like the Vision's, people were like, the Vision's going to be in it. That was the thing I was most excited for. Since the movie was announced, I was like, I'm going to get this.
They never showed him in the trailers, really, until they show his eyes.
They show him third trailer. They showed his eyes, and it's just a close up, and you can see they're like robotic eyes. But it's.
I think the reason why I like it more than the first Avengers is, I feel like this one's more rewatchable. Like after you watch I said that weird. After you watch the first Avengers a few times, the whole thing with them on the helicarrier in the middle of the movie, it just gets kind of boring.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like if you watch, I've only seen Age of Ultron twice, I think.
Yeah.
Twice.
I think we saw it a few times. I'm not sure. 2 or 3 times. It doesn't matter.
I think it was better.
My biggest problem with this movie is
watching it more.
Yeah. My biggest problem with this movie is I thought it had like just a couple of pacing issues, but it's still like there's shots of this movie that took my breath away.
Also, someone had a seizure watching it with us.
Yeah, we were in a movie theater watching Age of Ultron, and right like during the Hulkbuster fight or something, or right after it.
It was like right in the as it started.
Yeah, a man in our movie theater had a seizure, and they like stopped the movie for like a half hour, and they had to save his life.
We got free tickets.
Yeah, we got like 10 free movie tickets.
It was awesome
because we were like
I hope he lived.
We were a group of 5, and 2 of us got 5 tickets.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so that was really awesome.
It's because it was in 3D.
Yeah, we
normally wouldn't see movies in 3D unless it's IMAX.
We also we made a ton of jokes after that movie. Like, best part of that movie was the guy that had the seizure because we got 10 free movie tickets.
Also, we got to see the Hulkbuster fight like twice.
Yeah, we got to watch it twice
because they like played it back.
Pretty cool. Also, the Hulkbuster. How can you not love the Hulkbuster?
You mean Veronica?
Yeah, Veronica. Just that scene where he gets Hulk on the ground and he's just rapid punching him in the face, and he's like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
I feel like that's the thing that Crossbones has on his arm.
Yeah, something similar to that.
It's just gonna be rapid punching.
From what I understand, it's not a rapid punch thing. It's just like it's just a way where he could hit Cap harder because Crossbones isn't a super soldier. Cap is. If you're gonna punch him, you need to hit him with a hard punch.
Yeah.
So these things
they're
like gauntlets.
They're like brass knuckles.
Yeah, basically.
But like his entire fist is a brass knuckle.
Harder, I believe, than brass knuckles. I even heard I think there's a scene in the trailer where Cap rips one of them off of him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But
does his arm come off too?
Yeah, his arm comes off, and then he gets a robotic arm, just like the Winter
Soldier.
Yep. Oh shit.
Plot twist.
Yep. We already talked about Ex Machina a little bit. All I could say about this movie is
tense and amazing.
It's just nothing but building tension. Very small cast. It really lets you get into the characters, and it's just a super interesting plot.
Yeah. I mean, also it's a completely original story, right?
Yes.
And it's like it's probably the best indie sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely if it's not the best, it's in like the top 3.
Yeah,
I can't think of an indie
as far as like a sci-fi movie goes, that's as small as this. This movie, like I said, it's small. It takes place in one house.
It has like a really small budget.
It has a pretty small budget.
The house.
Yeah, the house, and then probably the CGI on Ava, the robot. But it's literally 4 people in the movie, all in one place, and just such a great, interesting story about if this AI is just an AI or if it has consciousness.
Yeah, they're doing the Turing test on it.
Yeah, to see if a human wouldn't be able to recognize that the human was talking to a robot. And they even do a thing where when you look at Ava, you could clearly tell she's a robot.
Yeah, she doesn't have she only has like a face.
She has like a face, and then the rest of her body's robotic. And the point of that was Oscar Isaac was saying she looks like a robot because I believe that she is so convincing as a human that even though she's a robot and you can see that she's a robot, they don't believe she's a human.
Yeah. Which
is really crazy. But
spoiler alert, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's So next movie, one of the only horror movies that came out, maybe other than
Insidious
3, which was pretty
I
good.
haven't seen it yet.
But I think It Follows is better. It Follows is a really cool horror movie. It's really interesting because they go for like this timeless feel with it because they make the technology like really mixed. So they'll be watching like really old TV, but they'll have like this weird shell like Kindle tablet thing.
Yeah, you'd have to see.
Yeah, you'll have to see it. They're like modern cars, but old technology, and it's just like
they're not even modern cars. Just like old station wagons.
Yeah, there's old station wagons, but there are some modern cars. But they go for
you wouldn't be able to tell the time period.
Yeah,
takes place in.
It's one of those things. I think they also did that. I don't know if it was something so much on purpose.
Also, I feel like
it's
that
way
on like an older camera or something. It doesn't look like. Maybe they just put like a weird color correction on it.
Yeah, color palette, but it's one of the movies that I think kind of does the same thing as Ex Machina about the timeless thing is that first, and probably all three really, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, because when I watch those, it's like, yeah, you can kind of tell it's like kind of modern day, but it also kind of feels like the 60s. You know what I mean? There's a good mix, and you're not really supposed to care or know.
Especially in the first one.
Like, you could tell by the cars and stuff, like, oh, yeah, these have been out, since here. But it has, like, a real 60s vibe to it. And I kind of feel the same way with this movie. It's a really, like tense horror movie, too.
It's a horror movie, but it's not super scary.
Yeah, it's more interesting than anything
else.
There's
no jump scares in it.
The whole plot of it is that when there's these people that pass on this curse through having sex, and when the curse is passed to you, there's a creature that is following you.
It looks like a person.
Yeah,
it can look like any person.
Look like anybody. So, and you're the only person that can see him.
Unless
if you have it.
Unless you gave it to somebody.
Yeah.
And then both of you can see it.
If you once had the curse, you can see it.
Yeah, anybody that's had it can see it.
And it's just really cool. It's very well made.
Yeah.
There are even scenes like it's one of those movies that I think you got to go back and watch it at least twice, because there are things that you'll notice like the second time. Like there are scenes where the creatures walk into them, and you don't even really notice. Like it's not very noticeable, but it is in the background.
Oh, it can only walk. I don't know if you said
it can only walk. So if you want to buy time, if you want to buy time, you can drive like 7 hours away, and the thing has to walk for like a couple of days, I guess, to get to you.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a very cool horror movie. The next one is a movie we haven't seen, Straight Outta Compton.
Everybody says it's good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I heard the third act kind of fell apart a little bit, but I heard it's nothing.
I heard that, like, as soon as it came out, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And then
I still heard that it's a great movie.
Every review that I've heard after that was like, yeah, it's, like, kind of amazing.
Yeah. I heard there's a scene, I think it's in a Detroit concert, like a Denver concert. Can't remember the exact city. It's supposed to be like...
It's not Denver.
I don't care what it is. They said it's like one of the best scenes in a movie of the year. No, it's not in Compton. I think it's in...
Dude, they're straight out of Compton.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. But we haven't seen it. We're going to see that soon. And also Mission Impossible, even though I've seen it already. Next one is a documentary that came out.
That's perfect.
It's a really great documentary.
It's super interesting.
It's The Death of Superman Lives. I'm a big fan.
What happened?
Yeah, Death of Superman Lives. What happened? I'm a big fan of
John Schnepp,
Movie Talk, and John Schnepp himself, and he's the guy who directed this movie. And it's all about a Superman movie that was being directed by Tim Burton and starring Nicolas Cage, that was going to come out in like the late 90s or the early 2000s or something.
Kevin Smith wrote the original script.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't write the original script.
He like rewrote a script.
Yeah, it was. You should just watch the movie.
He rewrote a script called Superman Reborn, and then he called it like.
Yeah, but that
you might as well call it like Superman, rename it, and market it to a new audience or whatever.
Yeah,
and then he changed the script to
Superman Reborn was the Superman movie that was supposed to be Tim Burton's, but it was a different director was going to do it. I think, and then they got Tim Burton, and then Kevin Smith changed the name, and then it had like 3 different writers. And a bunch of problems. Nick Cage was going to be Superman.
Yeah.
They wanted Kevin Spacey to be Lex Luthor. Which that's what they want.
Yeah.
I think in the documentary they all say they wanted that.
Yeah.
Because he's the perfect Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he's pretty.
And then there was going to be Brainiac.
I like him in Superman Returns as Lex Luthor.
And they were going to fight a spider.
Yeah, it's such an interesting documentary. That Superman movie, if it was made, and they were all talking about this in the documentary. It's a shame that it wasn't made because it might have been.
It probably
an
would have been
amazing
the
movie.
best Superman movie we would have ever seen.
But it's
there's not that many great ones.
I definitely recommend you go buy this movie. You can buy it online. Just look up The Death of Superman Lives. Go to the website. I think it costs like $15. You can buy like a super.
I think there's a $9 version of it.
Yeah, I guess that's just the regular.
There's like
download.
different versions of it where there's like a special edition that comes with like 8 hours of extra footage that he just couldn't.
Crazy shit.
And if you don't like documentaries, like you think they're boring, this one's not boring.
It's so interesting.
It'll hold your interest the entire time.
And it's really funny too because you got Kevin Smith in it, so there's always good moments.
There's like no limits with him.
Yeah. But definitely, I recommend you go buy this movie. The man who made it definitely deserves every cent because he worked his ass off on it, and it's just a real cool independent movie. So I would go check that out. And then last but not least for 2015 that I think is worth mentioning is Jurassic World. Here's the thing, Michael.
I don't like it.
He doesn't like it. I like it. I think it's a pretty solid movie.
I think the plot's good. The rest isn't.
I just got so many dislikes on this video.
Nah,
but
my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, then go to communist Russia.
I think it's just a really cool sequel to a movie that came out a long time ago, over 20 years ago now. And also, this isn't the sequel to Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that they could have done better.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that that doesn't make any sense.
I definitely get it. There's a lot of things, a lot of little plot holes,
there's a lot of writing that could have been better.
Yeah,
like,
but I still think
Colin Trevorrow, was that his name? He's definitely not. He's not the best writer. They could have got somebody better. He's a fine director. There's nothing wrong with the directing. I think he could have got a little bit of a better performance out of some of the actors.
Well, that's a problem with directing.
But I mean that's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. I think he did. I don't blame Colin Trevorrow for the mistakes of this movie, even though I guess it is fair to blame him. But this movie is such a big movie that there's no way.
I imagine there was a lot of studio. Yeah, there had to be a lot of studio
interference
because he hasn't directed like anything.
He's only
else.
directed one other movie.
Yeah, so they're not going to hand him $350 million and say, "Here you go, do whatever the fuck you want."
Yeah, but definitely, I think a worthy sequel to the first one, and just a fun movie, just a fun time in the theaters that made more money than anyone ever expected. But those are like the only good movies.
There's been a lot of shitty ones.
There's lots of shit movies, especially Fantastic Four.
Like last year, we probably could have gone to the theaters every weekend and seen a really good movie.
Yeah.
This year.
I feel like we haven't gone like at all.
No, I feel like those are the only movies we've seen.
And not even all of those.
Yeah, we haven't even seen some of them.
Well, at theaters at least. Like we haven't seen Straight Outta Compton. We saw Death of Superman Lives here because you can't go see it.
Can you think of a movie that we saw that wasn't good? True Story.
Fantastic Four. True Story was shit.
True Story sucked. It was the biggest mad movie ever.
Just a boring, shitty time. And then
we haven't gone to see Fantastic Four other than Fantastic Four.
That's it, right? Not another one.
I can't think of any.
Yeah, when was the last time we walked out of? I don't know. I like that we know about how movies are made and who's making them, which ones are good and which ones are bad.
Yeah, because I'm not just going.
We never go. We never go to a movie theater and walk out upset unless we know we're gonna do it before we go to the movie, like Fantastic Four. Like I told my brother, I was like, we gotta go see Fantastic Four just so I could shit on it in the podcast. I'm willing to pay for your ticket.
I made him pay for
and I know it's gonna suck, but we gotta go anyway. But anyway, so that was like all of 2015. Now we got a list of 2014 movies. We're not gonna go through them like the way
we're just gonna mention most of them.
We're just gonna mention,
First off, the three best ones: Whiplash, Birdman, and Nightcrawler. That's debatable, but they're the three best.
I was thinking for a long time. I was saying Whiplash was the best out of those three.
I can't pick out of them.
I switched
between all three of them every day.
I'm Birdman. I think Birdman. I know
Birdman's
one
the
best picture.
It's the best directed and best shot by far.
I think it's the most rewatchable. That's why.
Yeah.
Because it's
you
just
get more
so
out of it
cool.
every time.
I mean, Whiplash. Like I said, this is something I noticed immediately when I watched the movie. I love Whiplash. It's one of my top three. Those three are my probably three favorite movies last year. because they're just made so well.
Whiplash and Birdman are probably two of my all-time favorites.
But Whiplash, this isn't a complaint against the movie. I know why I say this, and I've heard other people say this, especially on Your Movie Sucks, the YouTube channel. Your Movie Sucks. I don't think you know about it, Mike. But there are a lot of points where it's obvious that they're not playing the instruments, and you can tell it's just they're trying to act out emotions, but the sounds that are coming out aren't matching what's happening.
Screw that. It doesn't matter.
I'm not the only one that said that, but I know I play drums, and because of that I have a personal bias towards Whiplash too. I love that movie.
At that point, you're just nitpicking.
Yeah, that's just that's the thing. It doesn't take away from the film. It's just one thing that I just noticed.
Because also, even when they're playing music,
yeah,
those aren't even the interesting parts of the movie.
Yeah, they're not. Except for that last drum solo.
The last drum solo is perfect.
It's pretty great. Even I thought that out of all that movie, that's the part that looks the most accurate. And it's just intense. That part where
his cymbal falls?
No, when J.K. Simmons walks up to him when he starts playing the drum solo, and he's like, "I will gouge your fucking eyes out." That's a great movie. Birdman, I still think is the best out of all of those three. I think there's a reason to win Best Picture. It's just an amazing friggin'. It's an amazing
there isn't a single
film
person
achievement.
Yeah.
Like
there isn't a single person that didn't pull their weight in acting in the movie.
Yeah.
Alejandro, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Alejandro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The director and writer of the movie. He's amazing. He's definitely a great director if he got those performances out of everyone.
Yeah, and
even Zach Galifianakis, I never saw that coming.
Yeah, right.
He's so serious. He's not even. The movie's a comedy,
that
but he doesn't even have any funny lines in the movie. Really.
A little bit. He's funny.
Yeah, but it's like he's a serious character in the movie.
Yeah, that scene when he runs to Michael Keaton in the hallway and he just starts crying, but he's holding it back, but he can't hold all of it back. And finds a way to calm down. And the whole movie, like I said, it's an achievement. It's that great. If you haven't seen any of the movies, or if you haven't seen some of these movies, I definitely recommend that. Because it's just, it'll blow your mind.
Yeah. If you didn't know, the entire thing is one long shot.
Yeah.
The camera never cuts until the very end.
Until the very end. But the next movie, Days of Future Past, great to have another good X-Men movie. You know what I mean?
Bryan Singer did this one, right?
Bryan Singer, yeah.
Yeah, so they got him back after the third one.
I do not understand how Bryan Singer isn't overseeing this entire Fox universe.
Yeah.
It's
Bryan crazy Singer, that he's not like the Kevin Feige.
He should be the Kevin Feige of these Marvel movies at Fox, because I don't know what's happening over there, but I thought the days of Fox making bad movies was over, and then Fantastic Four came out, and it's just a piece of shit. And I don't know how. And, I heard about this on Collider. From one of the guys who works very close with Bryan Singer, is that there is right now an X-Men versus Fantastic Four script
that will never happen.
now. Which, if that movie was great, that would have been cool.
The only way that will happen is if they keep the rights to Fantastic Four, and they'll do it after they reboot X-Men.
It's just gonna suck.
Which I don't know when they're gonna reboot.
I'm telling you, it's Fantastic Four is poison.
I think X-Men.
You cannot make.
I think X-Men. What do you think X-Men's done? I think in the
7 years.
I think in the next 10 years it's done.
I give it 7.
Really?
Yeah, I think James McAvoy and Fassbender have signed on for 3 more movies. I think.
Really?
7.
They can't.
They
They can't keep doing it in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be.
It's gonna get to the 90s.
It's gonna get to the point where it's like they're gonna be taking place where the first X-Men movie took place.
Yeah, it's not gonna make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, alternative taglines.
And then it'll be weird if they just have a bunch of movies with them in the 80s and 70s, and then they go back, and then the next movie, all of a sudden, those characters aren't in the movie anymore, and it's all the present characters.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing.
They dug themselves a hole with
I've heard this. I don't know if it's true, but there's a big rumor going around saying that once Marvel Phase 3 is done, and once this X-Men universe is done, Fox is going to reboot X-Men, and it's going to be like they did with Spider-Man. And in Phase 4, they're going to bring in the X-Men, and then maybe Fantastic Four, work out some sort of deal. Now, do I believe that's true?
I don't think so. I think they'll just take the villains.
Yeah, but still, it's definitely interesting. But yeah, great. It's a great X-Men movie. Great Quicksilver scene.
That's the best. I think that's probably the best scene of all movies last year.
That's tough. So the next movie, Cap 2. Best Marvel movie ever made. Not a single goddamn plot hole in it. It's almost completely flawless.
The only plot hole is how Mace Windu still has his lightsaber.
Yeah, that's it. But I don't think I even need to speak about Cap 2. I mean,
and then Guardians.
Just go see it. Guardians of the Galaxy. We have already spoken about these movies. Guardians, great movie, really fun time, super emotional too. We Are Groot gets me every goddamn time. Seriously, it does. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I think, has one of the best shots in any action sequence.
The tank scene.
The tank.
When it's just
they have the camera.
Around.
They have There's a tank. If you haven't seen the movie, there's apes are fighting people, and the apes have a tank. They get a tank?
They steal it.
They steal a tank, and they don't really know how to control it. So the tank is the tank's moving forward, but the top of it's spinning while I think Koba's on top.
Yeah.
Shooting machine gun, and the camera is stationary on top of the tank while it's spinning. So you just get a 360 action shot of all the mayhem and destruction going on in this war, and it's probably one of the best shots in any action movie.
It's really a great scene. Also, I was saying, I think Koba. Forget about just this movie. I think Koba was one of the best villains in 2014. I have one complaint about Koba, and it's not Koba's fault. It's they killed him by him falling into a pit of nothing, like so many cliche villain deaths.
Nah, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't make the movie bad. It's just, the movie's great.
And then
also, actually, my biggest problem with this movie is there's two of those in the title. Same with the Rise. It's Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So there's two movies. There's four of them.
Doesn't matter.
It's driving me crazy. And now it's been confirmed that the sequel to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is War of the Planet of the Apes, and that gets me excited.
They can't change it from. They can't get rid of the others.
Yeah, they can't get rid of them.
It's too late now.
It's a staple of the trilogy.
And then after that, we have Snowpiercer, which came out of nowhere.
Snowpiercer. If you don't actually know, I'm not sure if you know, it was a comic book. It was it was a graphic novel. And what a friggin' crazy, interesting movie.
I think it's Chris Evans. It's one of his best performances.
I think it is.
It probably is his best performance.
It's visually, the movie's stunning, and it's.
I didn't even know about it until it was on Netflix.
Yeah, I knew about it before it was on Netflix, and I didn't go and see it. But
it just came out of
nowhere. It was one of those ones that I was looking forward to for a long time.
It didn't have. Did it have like a wide release?
Yeah, it had a theatrical release. It didn't make amazing numbers. It's a little indie film, but I feel like it's a shame that this movie doesn't get the recognition it deserves, because it's really just interesting as far as the way different classes of people react with each other, especially in this frozen apocalyptic wasteland of an Earth that all of human civilization is stuck on a train that runs forever. It's self-sustaining. And it's one of those movies that not a lot of people have seen, and you gotta go see it. As far as the sci-fi goes, it's one of my favorite sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to spoil it.
What's your favorite scene?
Favorite scene?
Mine's probably the gun scene where they're shooting at each other while the train's turning.
Yeah, when the train. That's a pretty great one. My favorite scene is when the girl she's got some sort of she could see through things, I guess. She has some weird sense, and they were gonna open this door, and she was like, don't open the door, and then they were like, what's behind the door? And the door opens, and then it's all those guys in the black, and they have axes.
I forgot about that scene.
They have all the axes, and then one guy's they're passing around the fish and getting the blood on the axes. It's crazy intense.
Yeah.
And then they have a huge fight
in the dark.
Yeah. And then
I completely forgot about that scene. That's my new favorite scene, that fight scene.
Yeah, and then also I think the ending scene where everything comes together, and he tells that story about how.
All right, let's not spoil it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to spoil it. But one thing I will say is there is a great piece of music at the end of that movie that I think is worth paying attention to if you go see it. I definitely recommend it. If you go see any of these movies, by the way. It's still on Netflix. If you haven't seen these movies and you go and see them because of this podcast, please write in the comments how you liked them. But anyway, the next one, Edge of Tomorrow. I thought Edge of Tomorrow was going to be the biggest piece of shit
So did
ever
I.
put to film.
I think everybody did.
Those trailers came out, and I was like, nobody's gonna see that. It's gonna be a crappy Tom Cruise movie. Nothing looks good about it. And then I see the movie, and it's amazing.
I went to see it with 2 of my friends. Usually when I go to see movies, it's with like a group of like 5 of my friends. And this time it was only 2 other friends that I convinced to go see it because everybody else didn't want to see it.
I remember
we went there. I think it was the Saturday that it opened.
Yeah.
So like after
you went
after
opening
it
weekend
opened on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
went opening weekend on Saturday at like 9:00. So like prime time movie going time, and we were the only people in the theater.
Yeah, I remember before this movie came out, I was talking so much shit, and then they started screening it to people, and I remember there was this whole group of people that were like, guys, I know what you were thinking, but this is like one of the best movies of the year. You gotta go see it. Forget the trailers. It's the worst marketing campaign in a long time, but it's a great movie. So, I mean, if you haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow, go watch Edge of Tomorrow. It's just a great movie.
It's funny too.
Yeah.
It's like just as funny as it is like awesome. As like the action in it is amazing. Like the whole alien things.
Especially,
they look awesome.
The aliens were cool, but the action got great once you realized how long he was, how many times he's repeated all the motions. And then it gets to the point where it's second nature and he's just killing everything around him.
Yeah. Like he knows where everything's going to be.
Yeah, and then he knows what everything's going to say.
It's called Edge of Tomorrow. It's not Live Die Repeat.
No, it's called All You Need Is Kill. That's the real name.
I'm an OG. I saw it in theaters. I got the right to call it Edge of Tomorrow.
I think we should do these next 2 movies at the same time. The Raid 2 and John Wick.
2 of the best choreographed action movies.
I believe the term for John Wick is gun fu. That's the name of the martial arts. It's just killing each other with guns. And Raid 2 is like hand-on-hand martial arts. And
they're all like super long shots. They're not like quick cuts like every other action movie.
It's just, I remember watching both these movies and just being impressed. Like jaw-dropping fight choreography. There's a scene in the beginning of the Raid 2 where they're in a prison in the
That's
mud.
the best scene.
And I don't know. I don't think it's the best scene.
It's not the best scene.
It's hard to even pick any of those scenes over each other. But
you have no idea what's going on because everybody is just covered in mud. You can't tell who's who.
I would say that the Raid 2 is probably the best action movie I might have ever seen.
It's definitely the best choreographed.
Yeah. Because it's nonstop in your face. Holy shit, I can't believe what's happening right now.
And John Wick, I'll say this about John Wick. The one thing I really like about it is it's not like every other action movie where it's like, oh, we knocked out the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'll just let him sit there. Like, he'll knock, like, it's Keanu Reeves. I forget his character's name. Or it's John
Wick.
Never
Jesus
mind.
Christ, buddy.
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
But he just, like, instead of just knocking someone out and just leaving him there and, like, going on to fight the rest of them, he'll knock someone out and he'll just shoot him in the head after when they're, like, lying on the floor asleep.
Yeah.
It's like, he's just like, I don't give a shit, everybody's dying.
Yeah. My 2 favorite parts of John Wick are obviously the beginning with his wife dying and the dog. I mean,
it's so sad.
He really...
It's like upset.
Yeah, it really is. It's like upset. It's just... If you don't know what we're saying, we're talking about the movie Up. But
the saddest first 5 minutes.
It's really just a bummer. And then it turns to such a fantastic action movie. Go watch both of those movies if you want a real gritty action movie. Next, the only animated movie on our list, Big Hero 6.
Lego movie.
Oh yeah, Lego. I didn't know the Lego movie was on here. Big Hero 6. Great animated Marvel movie.
Best Stanley cameo.
Made me cry like 5 times out of like the 5 times I've seen it or whatever. Great Stanley cameo.
It's the best Stanley cameo.
The best Stanley cameo.
Voice cracks. I'm not 12, I swear.
Best. I don't care what you say about the movie. Best Stanley cameo is Spider-Man 3.
No.
It's the only one that meant anything.
I don't even remember what happens.
Spider-Man's looking at a video, or Peter Parker's looking at a video of Spider-Man. Stanley walks up to him, and he goes, you know what? I guess one man can make a difference.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
That's
this one's
sad.
better. Forwards,
and then he walks off.
Inside out,
Makes
forwards,
me cry every time.
No. Forwards, backwards, inside out, forwards, and backwards.
but Big Hero 6, just
And the Lego Movie. We'll do these together.
it's really Lego Movie, great cast, really funny. Chris Pratt's a god, I guess now.
He's in everything.
Batman's
I don't like
in
how
it.
he's in everything.
No, it's fine. I've been saying it would be really funny.
He's gonna get overdone.
It would be really funny if Chris Pratt was the new Indiana Jones, because then he also has to be the new Han Solo. That's how I view it.
No, they would never do that. They would never do that.
I know they would never do it, but that's how I want it to happen.
No, he can't be the new Han Solo.
No,
He's too old.
I know. I'm just saying that's how I'd like it to happen.
It won't.
I don't want Chris Pratt to be either of them.
Give
to
up
be
on
honest.
your dreams.
I want there to be some guy that could do a great Harrison Ford impression, a great young Harrison Ford, and then be both of them. I want that to happen because I think that would be amazing.
Another reason why it can't be Chris Pratt. He's too muscular. Yeah. Han Solo and Indiana Jones aren't muscular. They're skinny dudes.
Oh my god, dude. Indiana Jones is a muscle-bound freak.
No, he's not.
Because you're thinking of Indiana Jones 4. Because you probably haven't seen an Indiana Jones movie in 10 years.
Probably.
But he's a crazy muscle-bound freak.
We don't mention Indiana Jones 4.
Well, it never happened. What are we even talking about? Anyway. Gone Girl. David Fincher.
David Fincher is one of his best.
Yeah, I mean...
Super depressing.
Between, Fight Club 7, which I just saw for the first time yesterday, and...
How'd you like it?
I thought it was great.
Very disgusting.
Detective!
What's in the box?
But yeah.
What's in the box?
Really sad. But Gone Girl is just a great movie, great looking movie. Like the color palette was fantastic. Like really eerie tone. The score, which was done by Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, really if you watch that movie again, pay attention to the score. Because it helps push every scene forward. It nudges it that much more. It's just a really great thriller. I'm not going to spoil anything. Oh wait, I spoiled it already. Because there's a huge goddamn plot twist. I'm sorry.
What?
Anyways,
There's no plot
next one,
twists.
Interstellar. Christopher Nolan's return to making movies.
Everyone thinks it's amazing. I just think it's good. It's not terrible.
Here's the way I think of Interstellar. I don't think it's perfect. I still think it's really good.
I feel like in a few years, people will look back and be like, yeah, the movie's really good. Or it's going to be like, yeah, the movie's eh.
I mean...
Maybe The Martian will just wipe everything.
It's funny. The part that everybody has problems with is the ending, and that's the part I don't have problems with. I have problems with...
Matt Damon.
I have problems with Matt Damon. And then the other problem I have with it is like, okay, they're on Earth for this long. He goes to NASA. 5 minutes after he's at NASA, he's in space.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing. There's no
build up
training, no build up. I mean, I know that he's already, well trained. It's just like there's no setting up to launch. It's just like he goes to NASA, he's like, you can go home, and then he's like, I gotta go over Earth, and then he gets in the rocket, he's up in space.
Also, you can't solve gravity. It's gravity.
Yeah.
There's nothing to solve.
I mean...
No.
I mean,
don't say anything.
In the context of the movie, it makes sense. Because
it doesn't.
Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. We already did the Lego movie. Foxcatcher, next movie.
Really depressing and sad.
Horribly depressing.
It's like Gone Girl's like sad and depressing, but they have that comic relief in it. There's one funny part in Foxcatcher, and he's like, "It's just cocaine, Mark.
Yeah,
it's not gonna kill
really
you."
But everybody says the best part of Foxcatcher is Steve Carell.
That's just because no one expected it.
Nobody expected it.
Channing Tatum just as well, and Mark Ruffalo does even better.
Mark Ruffalo is the best part of that movie. Mark Ruffalo is not Mark Ruffalo at all. He's unrecognizable. I get that you could say
Hulk.
Yeah, he's the Hulk. No, he is. I mean, he plays that character to a T with all of his weird body movements that would take years to develop. Just like the way he kind of slouches and then his accent and his facial expressions. Just he embodies the character.
It's crazy that he was nominated for supporting actor.
Yeah, which he completely deserved.
He deserved, but J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons won for a reason. There's no getting around that. Next movie,
2 comedies.
Yeah, there hasn't been any great comedies this year. Last year,
I mean, we haven't seen Trainwreck.
Oh yeah, you know what? We haven't seen that.
I don't like Amy Schumer though. So
last year, we got Neighbors and 22 Jump Street. I gotta say, out of the two of these movies, I think Neighbors is a better film. I think 22 Jump Street probably has.
It's more funny.
I don't think I've ever laughed harder in my life than I laughed in the theater.
That Ice Cube scene?
Yeah, in the theater, everybody died in my theater.
Dude,
I could have sworn
the
10
guy
people
in front
died.
of us was like leaning, like he was like on the other guy's lap, like freaking crying.
Yeah, but I mean, Neighbors is. I think the way they made that movie, I think it's just so well put together and it's so well thought out. And even we had talked about Neighbors on the last podcast about
the sequel.
We had talked about the sequel, and we had talked about how the first Neighbors has one of the best fight scenes of all time at the end. But I mean, it's very well thought out. It's very funny. Rose Byrne, Zac Efron, and Seth Rogen are fantastic in this movie. And the best friend who's now possibly playing Hugo Strange, I think is personally the best part of the movie because he has
he steals every scene that
every scene he's in he steals. And then 22 Jump Street, like we said, I thought 22 Jump Street was super clever. Just the way they treated the whole
they made fun
sequel.
Of how
they pulled fun at it forever. And it's like, oh yeah, the budget's even bigger this time than 22 Jump Street.
We're just going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job. And they even had a little of that in the first movie when Nick Offerman was like, listen guys, nobody's excited about this Jump Street reboot. Like, just the self-awareness is just incredibly funny. And the last movie that we have on 2014, I feel like, I don't know if it quite earns its spot, but
it's really good.
I think it's pretty good, is Tusk. It's the only horror movie we have on this list. And if you haven't seen Tusk, basically it is about a man who turns another man.
It's a Kevin Smith movie.
It's a Kevin Smith movie. It's a man who turns another man into a walrus. And I know how crazy that sounds, and I promise you the movie's even crazier than you think.
It's crazy.
Really great performance from
Justin
Long, and I can't remember the guy who plays Howard Howe or whatever his name is.
Johnny Depp's really
Johnny Depp. Yeah,
he plays a really weird character.
There's a great story about that Kevin Smith told about Johnny Depp in this movie, and apparently
there's this really long monologue.
Yeah,
and
it's his first scene with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's first scene is a very long monologue, and Johnny Depp thought
on the script it says OC, like above the monologue. So he thought it meant off camera. So he wouldn't have to memorize the monologue. He could just, read it off camera, and everything would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Smith was like, "Dude, you got to do that scene like right now, or that means on camera." And he was like, "Oh shit, really?"
And off, both O's.
Yeah. So he was like, "Okay." So he reads the script for like a minute and a half, and he's like, "All right, let's go." And he memorized the entire monologue. It's like a 2-minute long monologue.
It's longer than 2 minutes.
Really? It's a long monologue, and he reads it perfectly. And Kevin Smith was like, "Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck he did or how he did it, but that first take is in the movie."
Yeah.
Like he just did it. I don't know what he did, but he did it.
It's really also like it's not even just that he was able to remember
he's
the
such an
lines.
Interesting character, and he has to say it in such like
he has like a
accent.
He has like a weird accent, and like he's doing these like eye twitches, and like he in the first scene, the first time he plays his character, just totally embodies the character that Kevin Smith wanted, and it took him 1 minute and 30 seconds, which I think is great because people give Johnny Depp tons of shit for being bad movies, but he is a great actor. And I get that he could have bad performances, but that doesn't stop him from being a great actor.
Black Mass was good.
Yeah, and apparently there's a whole trilogy being based off Tusk.
Yes, I would like to talk about this.
Well,
so
this is our longest podcast, by the way. It's been going on for an hour and about 44 minutes.
It's the best one you've ever had.
Huh.
Okay, so this will be the end of it. We'll talk about the Kevin Smith Maple Leaf trilogy.
Yeah.
Because it all takes place in Canada. That's why. So, after this
that makes a lot of sense. I never even put that together.
Yeah, that's why. It all takes place in Canada. So, the next movie is called Yoga Hosers. And then after that, the third one is Moose Jaws.
Moose Jaws.
And it's exactly what it sounds like. And Johnny Depp is in that one too, and he's in Yoga Hosers.
So is Johnny Depp like the string through all these movies?
I don't know how it's going to work.
I'd enjoy that.
But I know Johnny Depp's going to die in Moose Jaws. Because he wants to die. He wants to get eaten. He wants to get eaten by the moose.
The moose jaws.
Yes.
Moose jaws.
Yeah, it's a moose.
It's
I don't know how big
Kevin
it's gonna
Smith
be.
is a crazy
All right.
person.
So Yoga Hosers is in Tusk. It's Kevin Smith's daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. I guess they've been best friends for a long time or something. They've known each other forever.
Yeah.
And so they're both in the movie. And Kevin Smith was like really obsessed with the scene that they're in because they're only in 2 scenes in the movie.
Yeah, they're in 2 scenes, and I've heard about this where he was talking about the scene where they're in the grocery store and the kids are
It's
there.
a gas station.
And yeah, well, it's like a little convenience store. But he was saying like he was filming that and he was just like he was amazed. He's like, I don't know why I'm loving this shot so much.
He watched it like a bunch of times and he asked his wife and he was like, why do I like this so much? And he's like, it's fucking Clerks with your daughters and her daughter and her best friend. If you don't know, Clerks is the first movie he made.
Mm-hmm.
And so then now they're doing Yoga Hosers, which is the same 2 girls, Johnny Depp's daughter and Kevin Smith's daughter, and they work at the gas station, but they fight monsters. Yeah. And the monsters in the movie are
there's a lot of monsters, but
they're all the same though.
But they're all the
Bratzies.
What do you mean? They're all I thought there was a variety of monsters.
No, it's just a bunch of different Bratzies.
Bratzies are
like Kevin Smith.
Are bratwurst Nazis.
Yeah, they're
like, all played by Kevin Smith. Like so Kevin Smith looks like a hot dog.
Yeah, they're like
that also looks like Hitler.
He's like a foot tall. He has like the Hitler mustache, and they fight them. And then at the end of the movie, I guess like all the dead Bratzies group together and form the goalie golem, which is like a hockey goalie. That's like a giant.
It's in Canada.
Yeah, that's like a giant 12-foot tall monster.
Yes.
Of all the bratwurst's fates like sewed together.
Mm-hmm.
And the faces are on it and everything. You can see a picture of it online because he brought it to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And it looks disgusting.
I mean, I could have sworn there were more monsters. Kevin Smith actually had to shave for that, which I remember. Like he took that picture where after he shaved, and it it blew up the internet, just like Kim Kardashian's ass. But I thought that the reason he shaved is because he had to play multiple monsters. I mean, I guess that
he plays all the Bratzies.
I know he plays all the Bratzies. I hope there's more than just Bratzies, because I thought the Bratzies were just one of the monsters, and I thought that's funny. But now that I think
it's like that. I don't
know.
If it's all, he hasn't said that much about it.
If it's all Bratzies, I'm disappointed because I'm like, come on, give me something else.
Because there's gonna be some fun.
You can't make the only villains Hitler
also,
leaders.
the Bratzies they're like a foot tall.
Yeah, I know, they're really funny looking. It's a funny looking bad guy. I'm not dissing the Bratzies. I'm just saying I want a little more than a Bratzie. But yeah, that's it. And then after that, there's Moose Jaws.
And Johnny Depp's in both of these.
Really great.
He told a story on his podcast. He called up Johnny Depp, and he answered the phone in the same accent as the character.
Yeah.
In Tusk. And he was like, and he recited the whole monologue, and he was like, dude, how the fuck do you know that? And he was like, I don't know. I'm obsessed with this character. And he's like, good. Do you want to be in this other movie called Yoga Hosers that I'm doing with our daughters if you say yes? And he was like, fuck yeah. And then he's like, before you go, there's another movie called Moose Jaws.
And he's like, what is that?
He's like, exactly what it sounds like, man.
Yeah.
And Johnny Depp's like, can I get eaten by the moose? And he's like, fuck yeah.
I love how that's the way Kevin Smith makes his movies. He's like, I got an idea for a movie. I'm just going to make a movie. You know, that's how he does it.
He talks about his producers. He's like, I have the best producers ever. He's like, I have an idea. And they're like, yeah, why not? Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, because he's not going to spend that much money, and he'll make whatever money back because he'll get a theatrical release. I mean, he's not spending that much, but I guess that's it. You have anything else?
No.
Okay, so please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you want more podcasts. I promise. I hope none of you guys are upset that Stoops isn't in it. I really enjoyed having my brother on here today.
I'm the fucking best.
Yeah, I guess that's your catchphrase.
Fucking lit.
But I promise he will return. So please, like I said, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below if you like this podcast. This is going on an hour and 15 minutes now, longest one. So high five, we broke the record.
Woo! Not yet.
But,
an hour and 49 in.
Well, I mean, the previous record's like an hour and 20 minutes, I think.
Well, we ain't at 150 yet.
It's fine.
Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, follow us both
My
on Twitter.
link will be in the description.
I didn't know that, but I guess
Better
I
be.
there.
It will now.
I guess I could link it in the description too, or you could just go to the top right corner of my channel where there's a link there already.
Porn star followed me on Twitter today.
Yeah, porn star followed you. That's pretty funny.
I have no idea why.
It's because you're so goddamn
I don't
sexy.
even follow her.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Michael, you're a sexy beast.
Fuck yeah, even though there's no pictures of me on my Twitter.
She's like, hey, I know you're not in the industry, but maybe we could get something to happen.
Maybe she heard about how big my wiener is. Word's been getting out.
Word's been getting out? Well, okay, now we're past an hour and 50 minutes, so goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful life. Stay amazing. And, is there any nerdy thing I could say right now?
Trump 2016.
Team Cap forever. No, screw Trump.
What?
Okay. Team Cap. Woo! Bye.
Team Trump.
Say goodbye.
No.
Okay.
Fuck off. Bye.
Oh, Jesus, Mike. All right. Bye, guys.